So this is just a quick little video here. This question, it's 2024 Junior Cert exam. So shown on the right is a dimension drawn of a toy helicopter. The curve ABCD is an ellipse. So ABCD is our ellipse. BD is the minor axis. So BD is the minor axis, and F1, F2 are the focals. So they don't give us the actual length of the major axis on this. Okay, like that's not the full length. We'll have to do something to find it. Okay. OT is a tangent to the circle. So OT is a tangent then to the circle over there. Okay. So part 1, the length of the minor axis BD, the focal points F1 and F2, and the position of the major axis are given below. Find the length of the major axis and draw the ellipse. Okay. So what we know from ellipses, okay, how do we get, so if we have the major axis and the minor axis, how do we get the focal points? You get half the distance of the major axis and you swing it from the top . So in order to get that's a key piece of information there, boys, for this question. Right? So if we have the major axis and the minor axis, you get half the major axis on your compass, swing it from the top of the minor axis, that gives us our focal points. Well, we now need to work backwards, okay? So we're going to get the distance from the minor axis to the focal point, and we're going to swing this here from the center. So that now, at this point over here, that's my major axis, right? If you want to test it out, half the major axis, so you get half the major axis on your compass, swing it from the top of the minor axis, and that should give you your focal points. See the way that's landing just in the focal points there now if I swing that? So that's our major axis there. That is our points A and our point C found. So I'll write that in, C and A. So now we need to draw the ellipse, okay? So, to draw the ellipse, we need our two circles. We need our major circle, which is the size of the major axis, and we need our minor circle. So we have our major and minor circle drawn. Next thing we do is we split up our circle 60-30. So using our 60-30 degree set square, like so. So that's what we're left with now at the moment. Okay, so I've just noted an important thing up here now again, alright? So this is the best way of remembering how we set up here for our ellipse. So from the major circles, that's the big one, go parallel to the minor axis. Okay? So from the major circle, so where these 60-30 lines hit, we're going parallel to the minor axis. There we go. From the minor circle, so where the 60-30 line hits the minor circle, you go parallel to the major axis. Major axis is running this way. So that's how we set up our triangles then, okay? So from the major circle parallel to the minor axis, from the minor circle parallel to the major axis, from the major circle parallel to the minor axis, from the minor circle parallel to the major axis, from the major circle parallel to the minor axis, from the minor circle parallel to the major axis, from the major circle parallel to the minor axis, from the minor circle parallel to the major axis, from the major circle parallel to the minor axis, from the minor circle parallel to the major axis, major circle parallel to minor axis, minor circle parallel to major axis, from the major circle parallel to minor axis, and from the minor circle parallel to the major axis. All those corners there then, as well as the top of the minor axis, the sides there of the major axis, so all the little dots there, they're all points then on our ellipse. So we can just freehand in our ellipse then once we get to that stage. So that's our ellipse drawn, that's the first part. Using the dimensions given, complete the helicopter. So that's just what we're on to now. Okay? So it tells us here TO is a tangent to that circle, so we'll have to work that out now in a second. I'm going to start by doing this top part of the helicopter, get the window, and then we'll get the skid part, the skier part down the bottom as well. Okay? So we can see that this one comes up here straight up from the minor axis, comes up a height of 15 millimeters. Here, top propeller part goes straight up from the two focal points. Yeah. And this line here then it's joined down a 35 away here from the minor axis. So from the minor axis here I'm measuring 35 out to this side. Drawing our line. Where it hits the major axis here, join that down like so. Okay? Now, next thing I'm going to do is this window. Now if we look at this window over here, right? So, the circle is hitting here and it's hitting here. Right? And there's a radius 30. So from this point into the center of the circle, and from this point into the center, it's going to be 30 and 30. Right? So we have those 2 points. That's it down here, and that's it up here. They're those 2 points we've just found. Okay? So I'm going to get a radius 30 on my compass. From this point, swing an arc. From this point up here, swing an arc where they intersect. That's the center here for the circle. So that's after giving me that curved glass part for the cockpit. Okay, I'm going to do in our ski here now, so at the bottom. So we have our 35 here, so it's 35 to this side also. From the bottom here it goes down 10. It goes out as far as our 2 focal points. There. And then there's a 10 millimeter little curve, okay? So from this corner we can measure straight up 10 millimeters. Draw a line across. That now is the center for the arc we need to swing. And up as far as that. So all we've left now is our little bit here at the back. Okay? So it tells us here from the end of the ski we have to measure 45 millimeters across for the center of the circle. It's straight across from the top of B. So I can come straight out here. From the end of the ski we're measuring 45 millimeters. Right, straight up. and that will give me the center. So that's the center there for this first circle. So the first circle is a radius 15. I'm going to draw that in first of all anyway. That's my first circle, alright? Now, I'm going to focus on the tangent here next, and then I'll finish off all the detail up here, okay? Darken this in there for a moment. So, drawing a tangent from a circle to a point outside over here, okay? First thing we have to do, we have to join our centers. So we join our center from the circle to the point of contact. So, alright, this point of contact is O here, look. That's our point. Not our point of contact, sorry, that's our point that the tangent is coming from. So the center here, I'll label it, that center there, O. So we join from that point to the center of our circle over here. Okay? Next thing we do is we bisect that line. So bisect the line, compass more than halfway of the line, swing an arc on both sides of the line, keep the same distance on the compass up to this point. Swing an arc, swing an arc. Where they meet, then we can join those X shapes. That's that line bisected there now. Okay? Now we're going to draw a semicircle. And where the semicircle crosses the main circle, that's our point of contact. And we can join that in. Okay, so that's how we got our tangent. Now all we need to do is finish off the three propeller parts here. So it's a radius 30, so they're sticking out basically. Radius 30 circles, so we're going to draw in a radius 30 circle. And a radius 30 circle. Okay. The first one is just straight up. Next one then it says is 120 degrees. So we're going to put down our protractor. 120 degrees, which is here. Spin it around. 120 degrees, which is here. That's our question there then, fully finished in. The main things there, lads, in that question were being able to find the major axis. So we were given the minor axis and the focal points, being able to find it, and vice versa. If you're given the major and the minor, are you able to find the focal point? Okay. Next thing then is just actually drawing the ellipse. So that little saying there that I said, that's key for learning, for knowing how to find our actual ellipse. That our ellipse isn't twisted in the other direction. And tangent into a circle. So you join the center of the circle to the point outside, bisect it, draw a semicircle. Where the semicircle crosses the circle, that's your point of contact. You can join that in there. So that's from the 2024 junior paper.